Welcome back to Rugby Manual. Today we look at what Six Nations referees had to say about the worst players they've had to referee for. In fairness, dissent in international rugby isn't as big of a problem compared to something like football. But who are the worst players to manage in rugby history? Well, we've discovered quotes from 3 of the world's finest officials down the years who told stories about trying to control some of rugby's bad boys. There's a couple names that even surprised us. For number 1, we have Matthew Carley on Steve Borthwick. A difficult question. When I first started refereeing in the Premiership, Steve Borthwick was one of the guys who was pretty intimidating. He saw that everything was on his terms, whether you like it or not. He had such a presence. I think you learn how to deal with people like that as a ref, but Steve Borthwick was as tough as they come.
And one man who's very much been integral to Sarries over the last few years is, of course, Steve Borthwick. And we'll spend a lot of time talking about Johnny Wilkinson. In many ways, Borthwick is the great untold story of English rugby, which I guess is how he wants it. But why does he command such huge respect from those who play under him? What is it about him as a man?
I think, ultimately it's his performance and what he does. I mean, I genuinely feel privileged to have played with Steve. He has a tremendous work ethic, his understanding of the game, particularly line-out strategy, but I don't want to just put him in that box of he's a line-out guru. He's more than that, and I think he understands the game brilliantly, and I think actually the way he was treated by England was an absolute travesty.
Do you know, the reason why he wasn't a success as much as he should have been is because he wasn't a ball carrier, and they tried to make him a ball carrier. I think Saracens...
But the trouble is with Steve, he's too honest.
Brilliant. Both of you, come here now. We have an example to set for the game. As captains and as members of the England side, OK? You have examples. We are not going to start raising our voices, shouting and pointing. What I'm going to do, now let me explain.
Let us know your thoughts on Steve Borthwick down below. Coming in at number 2, we have Wayne Barnes on Richie McCaw. I've been on the field with some of the great captains, John Smith, Sam Warburton and Richie McCaw. Richie always had the knack of asking the right question at the right time. Sometimes it felt like I was losing a little bit of control. Contrary to popular belief, he didn't talk a lot on the field. He knew the law book inside out, and so when he asked a question, he often had a point.
It was great to be able to get a couple of moments with Richie McCaw this week. His return from a broken thumb against the Brumbies was nothing short of incredible. A game high, 20 tackles, a couple of turnovers as well. When I spoke to Richie yesterday, I began by asking him whether he'd expected to find form as quickly and effectively as he did.
Well, you do expect that. I sort of had to, because the guys that were playing pretty well the last few weeks. So to roll straight back in and get a starting spot, I sort of, pressure was on to make sure I did perform. I think the key to doing that is you get your preparation right, and you don't go and try and be a hero and do everything, magically. You just go out and try and do your job well, and I think that's what all I did, and that sort of helped have a reasonable performance. So, but just got to be better next week.
Coming in at number 3, we have Nigel Owens on Maro Itoje. He is someone who plays right on the edge. That is what makes him such a great player. Itoje must be so difficult to play against, but he's also difficult to referee, and I mean that with the utmost respect. He plays with passion and on the line. It is difficult to tell Itoje not to bring the same confrontation and aggression to the game that he usually does. It would take away from his game. You don't want him to change the way he plays, but he needs to pick and choose when he gambles on the situation and when he doesn't, and understand better those moments when you are under pressure and knowing if you take a risk and get it wrong, you will land your team in real trouble.
I want to be an example to the younger version of me who started playing rugby at 11 years old and didn't see too many people like me playing. And I want to be a great example for those that follow, and perhaps those who before me as well.
Let us know down below if you agree with the opinions of these referees and who you thought should have been on this list. We can say for sure that we'd have a few different names to mention before the guys we saw here today. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out some of our rugby playlists in the description below.